Hello, everyone. Hello. Sorry, I'm getting everywhere else going live. Give me 1 second. Hello, guys. Guys, we have an amazing guest today. You guys know her.
Hello.
Yeah. If you guys don't know Elizabeth, where have you been? She was one of my first interviews since when I started doing this. And we're so excited to have her today.
No, I'm excited to be back. We had a great conversation,
Yeah, we did.
and I'm excited to continue it.
Being weird. As we have found out, this app likes being weird on. Oh, one of my mods said she's so pretty.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. The Woods of Politics. I actually used to keep my hair like bright blonde too. Do I need to like do anything to join the TikTok live when you're on there? Or will it like pop up and invite me?
So you won't like you wouldn't be joining because I'm doing it through the studio. So if you're just in the live and then like type and say hi, we'll tag you and everything.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I thought okay, never mind. Then I can move it where I can actually like get to it and see. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Sorry.
No, that's all good. I thought I needed to be like on both.
Nope.
Um, Incredible. Then that makes it a little easier.
A lot easier, yeah. We like easy here. All right. So guys, just so everyone knows who is on YouTube right now, that is saying hi. I have some questions. My hat list looks weird. Yeah, I always wear a hat, so people are all weirded out on me right now. I have some questions that I'm going to ask. So, Kia and any other mods that happen to be on, if people want questions asked, she can go to about 11:30 hard stop. But if you guys have questions, throw questions out and we will ask them after we go through some of the original questions that I had set up. Okay, and now okay. And now we are live on TikTok.
Okay, I will join that. I joined the YouTube too. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I joined it as my campaigns account because somebody else set that up for me. But I figured if
I am right now, Kia. TikTok is weird and it doesn't allow me to go live with my image on something else. I have to have a live camera. So, did I see the SCOTUS breaking news? No, I saw you said that. I didn't get a chance to see the SCOTUS breaking news. What was the SCOTUS breaking news? It's probably something we all should hear. Against 6-3 voted against the tariffs.
yeah, I mean, I think that's important to note. Trump is taking a lot of L's in the court. Now, there's some question on whether he'll actually follow them.
That's
right?
true.
This administration has proven that they don't really care what the court says. They don't really care what Congress says. So I get it, the frustration when you say, well, Congress needs to step up and do more. Well, let's be clear, like Democrats don't have the majority.
Yep.
And the Republicans who are speaking out and are saying this is wrong, because there are some of them, and we don't have to agree on everything to come together and get things done.
Yeah.
Are having their lives threatened.
Yeah, I saw.
This is something like, so yes, it's great that he's taking L's in court. And it gives us, but sorry, I like made that seem hopeless. Here's the hopeful side of it. It lays the groundwork for when we do take back the House at midterms.
Yeah.
And potentially the Senate.
Yeah.
It lays the groundwork that this precedent has been set that you are now violating the Constitution. And we're not just saying you're violating the Constitution.
Yep.
The Supreme Court, most of which you have appointed, has ruled saying that you are violating the Constitution. And that gives us the groundwork for impeachments. And for that, so I know we want to see something happen overnight.
Yeah.
With this, right? We want something drastic. We want to flip the switch, and I get it because I would love that too. But we're not January 6ers. We're not insurrectionists.
Yep. Yeah.
We are going to do this the right way so that it is permanent.
Yep. So for everyone who's just showed up on TikTok too, I want to make a quick announcement for everyone before we even go. Just as a reminder, if you are in Texas or North Carolina, your Uh, primaries have started right now. So if you
Go vote.
haven't gotten out and gotten to vote,
Put your
do
phone
it.
down right now
Put
and
your
go
phone,
vote.
do it right now. We'll take a lower number for you to get out and vote right now. That being said, for everyone who's just coming in, this is Elizabeth Dempsey Beggs. She is running in the 1st district of Virginia. If you haven't watched the video where I interviewed her, please go over to the tube and watch it. It's awesome. She's amazing. That's why I wanted to bring her on and talk about everything that she hopes to do and give you guys a chance to ask her questions, because in the end, she's going to be representing people, the people. And so people need to, she's very into being held accountable and answering questions. So
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to introduce it. And that's why I do prefer going live. I prefer live interviews, but especially interviews that are live on social media. And you'll hear a lot of, even my opponents in the primaries, some Democrats running across the country, definitely Republicans, don't want to really get involved in the social media game.
Yep.
But here's the thing, like, it's a form of media and it gives people access.
Yep.
It allows people to hold them accountable. Even when you host these online, like Rob Whitman loves to do, you host these online town halls that are bullshit
Yeah.
because the questions are moderated. That now, obviously, you always have the I saw the hair bun technique is on point. I was in the military for a long time, so my ability to throw my hair up in a bun pretty quickly is one of my greatest talents.
Yeah, I bet.
But when you only let a certain amount of people ask you questions or they're preset. Now, there's times I won't tolerate disrespect, that type of stuff, right? I have one interview coming up with a very, I mean, I'll just say it, right? I don't know if you saw, we went viral on Twitter,
No,
or
I
X,
didn't.
whatever it's called. I actually had to download the app. I was on call time, so my phone was on Do Not Disturb, and I checked to be like, okay, let's see if like anyone's called back for my messages and that. And I've a ton of text messages, and people are like, dude, you are going viral. Like, you're trending on Twitter right now.
Wow.
And it was someone from the Daily Wire, I think. Yeah. So like a very conservative, kind
Yeah.
of making fun. But
That,
then it was like their most viral post ever. So they reached out. They're like, I would actually love to interview you. And I will say, like, their post in general was not that bad. Other ones I've done, a lot of the comments on it were horrendous that they didn't stop. So I thought about it for a while. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? We can have a respectful conversation.
yeah.
We're going to disagree on some things, and that is a good thing. We should have dissent.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it will be based in unity and bring people together. So the large part of my campaign here is I will not raise my kids in a world full of hate and division.
Yep.
And we have to offer an olive branch. We have to give people an off ramp to say what's going on here is wrong. And that is what I'm working to do in this campaign, much like Andy Brashear and James Tallarico. And so I said, I told him, like, yeah, you know what? But we are going to do it live, was my requirement. I'm like, you're not going to take snippets and piece words together. But I said, I hesitated though, because I don't want to give you a bigger platform when, like, you're giving people opportunity to say women shouldn't have the right to vote.
Yeah.
You're giving people the opportunity to say, like, we need children removed from our homes, even my home. Like, I'm a foster parent, right?
Yep.
Saying, like, we should call CPS. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I mean, they're at my house all the time anyway. Like, I'm a foster parent. They have free reign to come into my house anytime, as they should.
Yep.
Yeah. But I didn't want to give a platform to that.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say, like, I'm not going to be hypocritical. So yeah, let's do it. But we are going to have it live. We'll be filming it ourselves, all that.
The Daily Wire has been reaching out to a lot of people on the left recently. I just saw that they interviewed Masterson. I can't remember his name off the top of my, but
the bigger thing to me is, am I gonna do this interview and you're gonna sit here and call me these names or any of that? No. And I will clap back at that. Trust me, I've been called worse. I've held it together being called worse. But I genuinely don't think that is what this is going to be, or I wouldn't agree to it. And why not platform Virginia? I would love to platform Virginia if I could have some context into what that question means, because I can tell you a lot about why I love Virginia. I recruit people to move here all the time.
Let's actually start this out for people that
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
no,
just
no, this is great. This is actually what I would rather do is do this,
You
but
want someone to filibuster on the floor? Bring it on.
yep. Um, let's start out for the people that did not watch the video about you. You just give a little background on you and why you're running, and then we'll keep going on this because this is great. This is exactly what I wanted it to be. So
Awesome. Cool. So hi, my name is Elizabeth. Last name is Beggs. I do use my whole name, Elizabeth Dempsey Beggs, because I was in the military. My degrees are under Dempsey -1. I was in the military under Dempsey. I still will say my name is Dempsey a lot. So use all of it. But if you're in Virginia, you will see me on the ballot, Beggs, comma Elizabeth Dempsey, which means I'm top of the ticket. But anyway,
there you
so
go.
I'm a military veteran. I served on active duty for just under 5 years. I was a tank commander, and I was one of the first women to do so. After Congress lifted the ban on women serving in combat arms, which I know Pete hates.
Yeah, I
I'm
bet.
also, maybe you should just introduce me as Pete Hegseth's most annoying person.
I will. I will start doing that.
Um,
We usually call him Pete Keg's breath. So
yeah, I always say he has to call himself the Secretary of War because he knows he is unqualified to be the Secretary of Defense.
mhm.
Anyway, moving on. And so I am also a mom of 4 kids. So I have 2 biological daughters. I'm also a foster parent to 2 incredible little boys. And that's a big reason I decided to enter this race. After the military, I went into corporate, made a really high salary for my age. We were doing good. And I was just so unfulfilled. I was so tired of making rich people richer and really started to see some exploitation and the expectations of me to exploit my team for profit. And I was not willing to do that.
Yeah.
So I left a company and I was going to stay in corporate, but then I decided to kind of throw that away, really pursue advocacy. I'd become an accidental, I guess, like independent journalist, content creator, much like you do online, right? Wanting to amplify the voices of veterans running on the progressive ticket, wanting to fight back against this idea that MAGA owns Christian nationalism. I'm proud of my faith. I teach Sunday school, and to me, that means you love your neighbor.
Yep.
You don't check their papers.
Um,
You love your neighbor.
so Elizabeth is running for Virginia's first district.
Yes.
For
So I am
Congress.
running in Virginia's first district. And if anyone's like, what about with redistricting? So we have no clue what's happening with redistricting. Um, I will be staying in the first district regardless. We know what the maps are. We know when we vote on it, April 21st. I
Yep.
will be staying in the first. The reality is the map is not that popular. There's a lot of money being poured in to get people to go vote. There's a lot of money being poured in to get people to not vote or to vote no to it. And there is a lot of money being poured into fighting it in court. So I am essentially running in the first district and I will continue to run in the first district.
Yeah.
And will adjust as needed. We actually have a fundraising goal by March 15th of 150,000 that I've completely allocated. I'm also an MBA, so I am very much, like I told you, I was a director in corporate.
Yep.
I like numbers, the plan, that stuff that we've allocated, knowing, okay, if we hit this amount by March 15th, like from yesterday till March 15th, 150,000.
Yep.
We are going to be able to invest that in a way that as soon as we know about the maps on April 22nd, we go. We have a ground game. We like that is our trigger line. We're not then like, okay, well, let's film a video and start going here. No, we have 2 systems in place and everything is ready to go once we know the decision. Because what's most important to me as a non-establishment, this is the first time I've ever run for office,
Yep.
is name recognition in the primaries.
Yep.
And that's going to be, you know, I know what my message is. I know what I'm running on. I know why I'm running. It's just making sure everyone else knows that.
Yeah.
And that takes money. So, but we have a plan for that. And we know how to do it on, if you're involved in campaigns, 150,000 is not that much. We want to be very economical with that because we are grassroots and we don't take any corporate or foreign interest money.
Yeah. So the primaries, assuming they don't move it, which is technically a possibility.
Primaries have moved to August.
Oh, they did. Okay. Primaries are moved
Primaries
to
are
August.
the first week of August.
Okay. So
August
there are how many? There are 4, or are there more than 4 running in the
It
Democratic?
changes every day.
There are 4 that
And
that
I
I
wish I was
know
being
about because
sarcastic when I said
I've
that.
interviewed 3 of you. So,
There, what other candidates than the primary for the first have you interviewed?
Tim,
Loved him.
and I am about to interview what's her name?
Erica?
Erica.
Yeah, yeah. So it does change every day. We do have a solid core though, like that has not been wishy-washy, that has committed, isn't jumping in and out, which a lot of people are doing, or
Yeah.
waiting for redistricting, which I get. I think we're technically at 9. Um,
Wow. Oh,
of
just on the Democratic side?
yes,
Dang.
of candidates who are actually, showing up to events, who are fundraising, who are actually out on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
You're really looking at 5.
Okay. Um,
But yeah, Tim's awesome.
yeah,
I think a
he's
lot of people would be like, "Your candidate's awesome." Like, no, I mean, like, he comes over for dinner. Like, I
really
call him Uncle Tim. Like, that's the cool thing about this. Like, now this isn't every primary competitor, right?
right.
But there is a group of us that have become good friends and that we have all committed. Like, we're not going to trash talk each other. We'll talk about policy differences for sure, and we have some, but
Yep.
we're all on the same team. And whoever takes it, like, we are going to fully support and back them. We do have some though that are, completely corporate money.
Yep.
They don't have the ability to flip the seat. Um,
Um,
Very establishment.
someone was asking, what do you think of states redistricting to get rid of opponents?
Are you talking about taking seats back in the House, like flipping, like opponent says red seats blue? Or are they
That's
talking
my
about,
guess as to what they
that's
think.
what I would guess too.
Yeah.
Obviously, states have kind of drawn maps too to make sure that like the establishment does get to pick the candidate who will take primaries, and made it so grassroots and non-establishment candidates have a very, very hard time, which is undemocratic to me. And I'll be the first to call out the Democratic Party
Yep.
for these actions too. But redistricting in general, look, I'm not a fan of gerrymandering. I find it incredibly undemocratic. The reality is, though, with how migrant of a population we are, I don't believe every 10 years with the census is accurate anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you how many times I've moved alone in 10 years. You can look at some of the booms in cities like Charlotte.
Yep.
Um, I mean,
Texas,
Nashville. These,
Austin.
yeah,
Austin
we,
is starting to
yeah. I mean,
shrink
look at
now
the
because of it.
population change in Texas in the last 10 years.
Yep.
Austin, these quote unquote bachelorette cities, right? You look at these population booms, and I mean, they make a big difference.
Yep.
These aren't small percentages that things are changing by.
Yeah.
I believe every 5 years to redraw maps is more accurate, which is what Virginia is trying to do right now. Raleigh, yeah, the company I was at, my big office was out of Raleigh,
Hmm.
and I spent a lot of time down there. I actually had an apartment down there for a while, and that population boom has been insane. Um, what made her go into politics? I would love to answer that in a second. But again, I find the idea of gerrymandering not okay.
Yeah.
Now, do we have to fight fire with fire? Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't want to be alarmist. I hate being alarmist.
Yeah.
But there is a time and there is a place to raise the alarm, and midterm elections this year is the time to raise the alarm. If we do not take back seats at midterms, we will not have a democracy anymore. And you could argue we don't have fully fair and free elections as is right now, and I would agree with you, especially when you talk about the money that comes into it.
Hmm.
But if we do not take back the seat at midterms, there's no off ramp. This is our last off ramp. So sometimes we do have to have drastic measures.
Yep.
Um,
Hey,
and
Hannah.
yeah,
Um,
I see that. How long have I
yep.
been in politics?
If you want to answer it, you definitely can.
I'll ask you, how long do you think I've been in politics?
I think from my interaction with you, you're brand new.
I am kind of brand new. I'll put a caveat on that.
I
I've always been incredibly political.
Okay.
And my parents were my dad, that there weren't adult and kid conversations in our home.
Mm,
Now, things at the right level,
sure.
I was not an only child, but I was the only one between my parents, and my siblings are in their 50s. So I was essentially raised as an only child. My mom left when I was younger. So I was my dad's buddy.
Yeah.
And he taught in the political science department. So there weren't adult and kid conversations.
Yeah.
And then I interned for the Republican Party of Kentucky my sophomore year of college,
Mm,
which was going into the 2016 primaries. I was there in 2015, that fall semester, and I was like, I'm good. I'm good. And that kind of started to shift my worldview. I
okay.
saw Trump come up. I saw a lot of people jump ship from the Republican Party, even in Kentucky, because they saw this damage. Like I remember I was working in politics, midterming, um, and I saw people being like, "This is a joke," right? And how these very reasonable now like MAGA bootlickers were truly like, this has to
Yeah.
be a joke. And it quickly has become not a joke, as we've learned. Anything Donald Trump says is not a joke. It is testing the waters.
Yeah.
But I went to the military, had the conversation, stayed involved, but actually being in politics myself. Um, this is my first time running for office. I filed and decided to run the week of Thanksgiving,
Mm,
and literally just after interviewing Governor Moore, came home and was like, I have to do this. Like, this is my duty.
yeah.
If I have this unique ability to flip this seat and work towards taking back the House, I have to do this because I love my country and I love this community, and I took an oath. But before that, I had been doing, some independent journalism. Like I said, I'd interviewed Governor Moore. So uh, I would say essentially though, like I'm brand new to politics. Like as a politician, yes, as of like December.
Gotcha. Someone over on the tube is asking, I found some information about farmers in VA from 2022 on the Virginia website that states that VA has over 39,000 farms. Do you
Yeah.
have any plans on helping them with operational costs ways to help?
Yes. Thank you. I love when we get to talk about like actual issues that are affecting everyday people like this, right? And kind of we can step away from like the yes, we will stop authoritarianism and the rise of fascism. Like, let's talk about real plans and policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've actually spent a lot of time. So the northern neck is a lot of my district, and we do have a lot of farms there. And I also have the other sides of Virginia that are not my district, and their farming looks a little different. But particularly here, what we're looking at, we have these what you would call like these government bailout plans, right? Where
Mhm.
we give 0% interest loans, we give all these things. But here's the thing, these farmers are so in debt because of tariffs and because of corporate greed from places like John Deere, from places like Nutrin, sorry, I was trying to think of the name, that are in the pockets of our politicians
Yeah.
and are just making record breaking profits. Like you can go look up John Deere's profits the last 2 years. I mean, record breaking profits. So even when the government's like, oh, here's these subsidies, here's these bailouts to our farmers, they're actually just going right to paying John Deere
Mm,
and Nutrin because the debt is so overwhelming and they have monopolies.
yeah.
And it's such a hard area to break into. Um, so yeah, part of that is these tax breaks, bailouts, all of this, right? These are not allowed to go pay off that debt.
Yeah.
If corporations like John Deere and Nutrin and these want that money recovered, want any of that, they can work out a plan with us for a tax cut. They can work out a plan with us for a bailout, but that money stays with the farmers.
Yep.
Um, oh, that's a good question. So it's a very complex system. And then you also have to look in fighting data centers because that's crushing our farmers. And for some reason, Virginia wants to be the data center capital of the world with 666 data centers right now.
I feel like every state at this point wants to be the data center capital of the world.
So Virginia has the most data
Right.
centers of any state.
I just
Texas is trying to come in close to us. Obviously, Texas is a much larger state too.
yeah.
And it's killing us. I mean, you want one thing that is uniting Virginians, right,
Yeah.
left, whatever. It is stopping data centers.
Yeah.
So yes, I would love to develop our farm plan a lot more. Again, I've met with the caucuses, I've met with the farmers, and it's something that is going to take an in-depth one, but it starts with these bailouts, this money going back to farmers, the stop on tariffs, which luckily the Supreme Court again ruled unconstitutional today.
Yep.
Yeah. And these
Huh.
trade wars are just crushing our farmers.
What VA politicians are you most aligned with?
Ooh, like direct Virginia politicians. That's a good question. Our lieutenant governor has some really awesome, really well thought out policies that I'm a fan of. And then a lot of people compare me to Abigail Spanberger. It's happened a lot. And I think it's also just the sense of duty that me and
Mm,
Abigail have. the authen- authenticity we have, especially as mothers,
Yeah.
being unique in the way that we're not hiding that we're moms, which women are often told, like, hey, if you want to be taken seriously here, like, you can be a mom, but like
Yeah.
behind the scenes, right?
Right.
Um, and that's on the personal level. Policy wise, I don't agree with all of Abigail's policies. And some that she might be signing in. We have yet to see some that she will be signing in because we are still in legislative session. So,
Hmm.
the House has passed some bills, the Senate has passed some bills, they're going to reverse and then they'll go to her desk. Um, but her stance on protecting reproductive care, the stance that she has taken on ICE, at first I felt it was not strong enough. Once she got into office, it became much stronger. But where we differ on that is some of the gun control laws that have gone into the Virginia state legislature. I'm all for common sense gun control.
Yep.
I'm also a firearm owner myself. But again, I'm all for common sense gun control that's data based and actually makes our community safer. And a few of the ones I've seen, some of them make great sense. Like you can't bring a firearm into a hospital, that's a protected space. How is this? Yeah, we can definitely talk about the taxes here in Virginia. But banning 10 round, anything over a 10 round magazine, that excludes most handguns.
Yeah.
And, that's not something that can be changed, right? You can't just swap out magazine size. And it's those things that I can understand a lot of people on the right's frustration when you have politicians, um, that propose these gun laws that probably don't really have that much knowledge
Yeah.
on firearms, right? Um, and only giving people a couple months or they get a felony charge if they don't turn in anything over a 10 round mag. Like that's not realistic. Um, I hope that answered that question.
It seems to. What is your take on AI? Do we have time?
I am an optimist,
Okay.
but I'm also a realist, and that develops most of my policy. With AI, we have to accept it will not be going away. We do not have the capability as even a federal government, because we still have the rest of the world, right, to say there will be no AI. This is something that needs to be extremely regulated, though.
Yeah.
So you create an image using AI. That is, and we'll talk about the environmental side of it in a minute too, because there's
Yep.
so many factors, right?
Yep.
You create an image using AI. There is metadata to that. You cannot be anonymous doing that because we've already seen many, many cases of people using AI to make deep fake child. I don't know if we'll get cut if I say.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't.
Um, use your imagination.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a tool for predators and it is harmful.
Yeah.
And currently, we all know laws take a long time to catch up.
Yep.
This is something that we cannot be reactionary to. We have to be proactive of because is there an upside to AI? Yes. When it comes to medical research, I mean, this has the potential to save lives, and I'm not going to push that aside.
Yeah.
But also,
We just have to do it right.
we don't need to be killing our planet so you can make a meme of yourself.
Yes. Correct.
But so much of this is like medical.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's like recycling.
Yeah.
Right. There's this big push by corporations to say, you as the individual consumer, you're the reason the planet's dying. You're
Yeah.
at fault, and shifting this blame. And it's the same thing we'll see with using chat. If you are going to tell a mom of 3 who is dealing with 3 different drop-offs and pickups and schedules, and going to work, and her husband's going to work, and the bills are rising, that ChatGPT has the ability to help her make a meal plan, create a shopping list, stay within a budget, and not waste food, and it will take her 5 minutes compared to a few hours she doesn't have.
Yeah.
That's not a problem to me.
Yeah.
That's not who I'm going to be putting blame on. That's not the issue. But we do have predators who are going to use this, and we are going to have an over-reliance. Even look at schools. Like I said, I'm finishing up my MBA right now.
Yep.
When I first started, I had never used chat before for anything and didn't really get it, understand it, right? And at first, they're like, look, you guys will have access to AI. Most of your assignments, AI cannot do for you because there are experience, you have to combine topic B and thought A and this person's comments and put it in together. And like, there was no way. But they're like, we are going to teach you how to have it help you with admin tasks at work,
Mm,
because otherwise you will be left behind.
yep.
So it's such a hard one, but the fact that the big beautiful bill tried to say states can't have any restrictions on AI use in 10 years.
Yeah. I know.
When
I
we
know.
know, I mean, we know it was written by a predator,
Yeah.
this big beautiful bill, right?
Yep.
It's something that they can use to help them be predators.
Yep.
We know that there are so many downsides, and you look at the data centers and you look at what it's doing to our environment.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know what that regulation looks like.
Yeah.
I know I need to talk to people who have a lot more expertise in this as we flush it out. I'm not going to come on here and tell you, in the words of Kamala Harris, like, there's a plan and it's perfect and we're going to stick to it and we're not going to adjust. No, it's something that's ever evolving. So it is
Yeah.
going to take some trial and error as we figure out how to legislate it.
Yeah.
But the number one thing, anything that you do with any form of AI, your data is attached to.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I we've got a bunch of people who've been asking questions, which is great. I wanna this idea of accountability is something that is I think a lot of people are frustrated with for obvious reasons. When this administration ran, they ran on the idea that they would release the Epstein files, that they would find all of the fraud and abuse, that they would, all of these things that they supposedly were going to do. And now they're completely backtracking. So one of the things that I would like you to talk about is what does being accountable to this country, to your district, as a representative mean to you in regards to some of these things that we're hearing, but just in general as well?
Yeah, that's a loaded answer. Um,
I'm sorry.
no, it's because, well, I had two thoughts with this, right? Um, and let's get into it. There's two sides. So first, it's we talk about what this administration promised.
Yep.
You and I knew this was a lie.
Yes.
Your crazy uncle posting Facebook memes, he truly believed this. And
Right.
that's where we need to find this common ground. He truly believed that this administration was going to get criminals off the street. They were going to release the files and people would be held accountable. They were going to find fraud, waste, and abuse because you know what? He's probably paying a decent amount of taxes and he's not seeing anything
Right.
himself for what he's paying because people don't mind paying taxes
Yeah.
when they actually see things from it, right?
Yep.
When their healthcare is affordable because of the taxes that they pay, when kids aren't going to bed hungry because of the taxes that they pay, when there's no potholes in the road,
Yep.
when it's just billionaire tax breaks, when we're funding welfare queens like Walmart with our taxes, yeah, we're going to be mad. So when someone comes in and says, well, I can solve this, I will find all this fraud, waste, and abuse. We knew it was a lie, but they didn't. And we have to understand that they had a different source of information than us, but our common ground is very much the same.
Yeah.
So, what accountability looks like for me, though, this is a form of accountability, right? Being where people are, taking down some of these barriers to talk to your elected official, the people who are supposed to represent you. Now, will I always agree with everybody in my district? Will I always vote the way they want? Will I always create legislation that they agree with? No, no, I
What?
won't, because that's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, that is impossible. I would not be doing my job. I'd be just like Rob Whitman, who's passed 4 pieces of legislation, by the way, and one of which was renaming a post office.
How long has he been in office?
20 years.
20 years?
I was 9 years old when he came into office. So I'm not going to be that, which means, yeah, sometimes people in my district aren't going to agree with my decision.
Yeah.
But I will have an answer for them, and I do expect them to hold me accountable. And I will be having the town halls and I will be accessible and I will make sure that my staff is always there to take questions, to take calls. It's what we do right now. Even as we've expanded our social media forums and this campaign has grown, I don't have the ability to respond personally to every single DM request we get.
Right.
To every single comment, any of that comes in. Now I would say 50% of the time it's me responding to it myself because I just don't sleep or take a break. So if you ever see a response from my campaign's Instagram or any of that, like 2 a.m, it was me. But with that being said, I do have 2 meetings a week where they brief me on everything that's come in. Now, if it's like a simple, hey, when is this event? Great, they respond to it and stuff. But if it's actually asking about policy, if it's asking to tell me their story or anything of that, they either put a time on the calendar for me to talk to that person individually on a video call or grab coffee with them, or they brief me on it if they're, remote, far away, especially our active duty military members. And I am able to take that and take the time and actually put a thoughtful response in. And that was something I blocked off my calendar for every week because that is crucial and they know like that is not touchable time. Yeah, I mean that's part of it. Oh, the other side of it is we don't take corporate money, we don't take PAC money. I had many advisors tell me you are not going to get elected that way. Right. And
Yeah.
am I going to out fundraise Rob Whitman? Probably not. I'll have more donors than he does. I almost already have more donors than he does. But we don't need to out fundraise him. Do we
Yeah.
need money, like I was saying, to get the name awareness, do this and voter outreach? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But my job is to be held accountable to the people in my district, not to lobbyists,
Yeah.
not to the corporations. And I am running to ban congressional stock trading because you shouldn't have any ability to get rich and make decisions that could negatively impact your district because it can put, I don't know, $1 million pretty easily in your pocket.
Hmm.
That's insane.
On the sorry, on the tube, your district includes several watersheds that feed into the
Mhm.
Chesapeake Bay. How will you balance the need for economic growth with stronger protections for water quality in rural and suburban areas?
Thank you for asking because I do have a pretty in-depth plan. So, for anyone that's local here, and if you're not, I'll give you some background. Omega is a fishery that we have here in the Northern Neck. It is the number one employer, kind of the only employer, and they are very close to having to close down their doors and leave.
Mm,
And there's a lot of data saying that hey, their fishing isn't affecting the watershed, but we also know the osprey are leaving. We know osprey are leaving everywhere. They're leaving in Canada, they're leaving in California, not just a unique Virginia problem. And there's a lot of data on both sides. And I'm a data person, I'm an MBA, right? So I'm like, I don't really want to listen to a CEO tell me what's going on here to protect his company. I'm not only going to listen to one professor who, as it turns out, is being paid for by this lobby group,
yep.
right? I'm going to look at everyone's data and bring it together. Now, the biggest thing is we have to protect jobs in the Northern Neck and we have to protect the environment as well, both of which are suffering right now. And Whitman has done nothing to protect either. So we need to allow other businesses to come into the Northern Neck. The biggest way to do that is by putting broadband in.
Mm,
I know you're kind of like, I asked about the watersheds and jobs, and you're talking about broadband, and I promise they are connected because there are a lot of companies that have looked at coming in to the Northern Neck on these waterways. I mean, if you haven't spent time out there, it is beautiful.
yeah.
I mean, it is beautiful and it is uncared for though right now.
Mm,
And a lot of these waterways are actually included in the federal budget, not the state budget. Because some people be like, well, if they're neglected, it's because the state budget's Virginia. No, because who owns the Potomac?
the federal government.
Maryland.
Maryland.
Maryland, which makes a lot of these waterways because they flow in there. And if you actually look at the map, they go into Maryland,
Mm.
meaning taking care of them comes out of the federal budget.
Oh.
And when they're not taken care of by the Army Corps of Engineers and it's not fought for by Whitman, then we have people who are their home values are being lost. Their boats can't even get out of their channels anymore.
Yeah.
The rescue team no longer can get into the bay because it hasn't been dredged. Would have been $2 million.
Oh.
Now let's talk about broadband though. Jobs want to come in here.
Yep.
Companies want to come in here. People want to build homes here. It is beautiful. It's a great area,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not broadband access.
Right.
Anyone who's worked in the business world or has ever looked at a budget, there's no way a company is going to come in, build up a whole
Without
thing,
broadband.
hire people, train people, and then have to invest $9 million just to open their doors and have internet access. That return on investment, there's other places they can go.
Yeah.
But $9 million, guys,
Yeah.
it's like that's nothing. I'm letting you know right now, like that is nothing. And it wouldn't just improve jobs, it'd improve education opportunities. It would allow people to work remote as
Yep.
well out there, which means high paying jobs too from the city or even from Richmond. You can work remote and spend that money locally, which
Yeah.
allows local businesses to thrive because every local business has had to shut their door down.
Yep.
Just so I mean, there's places can't stand. I've talked to so many restaurant owners, they are just bleeding restaurants. I mean, you go to a restaurant in some of these counties, like, you have one option,
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. No hotels, none of that. So there's a lot to do when it comes down to this, and it is a very, very delicate balance. Um, the
Yeah.
thing with Omega, I'll let you know right now, they have a cap on how much they can fish in the bay. Um, the goal is to encourage them to go to the ocean to fish
Mm.
more. And they have very few ocean days because of weather, and they need to invest in some of their equipment to be able to go into the ocean more.
Yeah.
Um, Another part of that is a lot of people are not going to be happy with me on this one. And like I said, I'm not here just to make everyone happy. Bass fishing.
Mm.
We are People are capped at how many you can catch a day,
Yep.
but they aren't capped on catch and release. When you catch and release, 80% will die within 24 hours.
Yeah.
So that how many you're allowed to catch kind of goes out the window, and that's been a really bad issue too. That's obviously like that's why when people are like, "Oh, the fines, like it's just an extra fish." No, like we have decades of data showing us how bad it is. But
Mhm.
Omega actually is not fishing at their cap, like what they're allowed to fish.
Yep.
There are other states that they operate in, particularly Mississippi. It's
Mm.
either Mississippi, or Louisiana. I want to say Mississippi though. In the Gulf there, that they do not have um they don't have caps, so they don't know how much they're operating at. But even because of weather days, because of all this, what they're allowed to fish in the bay, they are not even at 75% of.
Yeah.
So the answer, it might sound really good to say, like, well, like cap how much they can get, guys. They're already not doing that, and they haven't been for years.
Mm.
Um, so there's a lot, right? But I
Yeah.
know that's gonna make a lot of sport fishermen mad if I'm like, hey, uh, can't do this. Charters, huge source of business there.
Yep. Yeah.
That does have an effect, right? But not as much as these big corporations. So it's finding balances, it's looking at tax incentives, it's encouraging Omega to find a way to be able to invest in better technology. That was
Yeah.
like my first question to the CEO. I'm like, okay, well, you know what these issues are. It's like, what are preventative? Where would you invest to address these issues? And he had an answer. It's just, it's an expensive answer.
Right. Um, so one of the question was asked a while ago, you saw it and we mentioned it. I want to make sure we catch it is your thoughts on the new taxes that were brought forth.
So they're brought forth. That's the key word there. They have been brought forth. They have not been signed into law. They've been brought to the table in one chamber. They then have to pass the other chamber, and then they have to be signed into law by the governor. So it's very easy to, again, I hate being alarmist, right? To get alarmist and say, well, all these taxes are going up. And no, guys, they've been proposed. And the reality is 10% will probably go through.
Yeah.
Because it is really scary and annoying to look at. I would say though, there are some I'm not a fan of. There are so many really good tax codes that give breaks to the working class. These idea that services are taxed, well, that's a thing that affects a lot of your flexible jobs, very small business owner, stay-at-home parents, like photographers, like wedding videography, all of these, right? The things that allow people to invest in their families,
Yep.
and that don't have great profit margins already. The idea like, oh, an Uber Eats tax, like, it's a luxury tax. The idea of like it's a luxury tax. If you're already paying for these things, you can afford the higher tax rate.
Yeah.
I don't like that word. I would say more convenience, right? But it's again just not looking at the whole picture and writing off, hey, a lot of those people using Uber Eats because they have a sick baby at home,
Mhm.
or they ran out of diapers at 11 p.m. and their other two kids are sleeping. Or so it's just not taking into account all of these things. Like, yeah, it's an idea.
Yeah.
But do I believe in raising the income tax rate for very high income earners? Yes. Do I consider $400,000 in Virginia high income? No, I do not. If you live in Northern Virginia and your joint income is $400,000 for your family and you have two kids in childcare, you are not living well. You are living comfortably, but you are not living super well. And I know some people here will be like, "Oh, my life would be changed with 400,000," and I get that, right? But the reality is like that's still pretty working class. I am talking about high income earners.
Yeah.
If you are taking an income, not including investments, not including any of these, just a straight income of over $2 million a year, yeah, you can afford a 2% increase. And a lot of what these taxes are going to, we have to look at. People say, well, Virginia's in a surplus. Yeah, because we haven't been providing services for anybody, and Youngkin just denied so much of what needed to be taken care of infrastructure wise, like we just talked about in the Northern Net.
Yeah.
Like we look at our infrastructure with the storm we just had here.
Yep.
That wasn't okay.
Yeah.
We don't have broadband access, but you're like, yeah, we're in a surplus. That's just because we haven't been taking care of people.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
not because we've been financially responsible,
Exactly.
because people are still paying into the taxes but not getting any benefit from them. It's like I say, well, people like Whitman because he's financially responsible. I'm like, great, you don't get a break on your federal income tax because he refuses to advocate for our district to have any of that come through.
Yep.
2 of the bridges in the Northern Neck, they've needed to be done. Down in the second district, that bridge, it's been redone 3 times. They were built the same year with federal money, and that's because they have a representative who, I'm gonna pause because I did see this one about, disabled people being
Mhm.
protected. I know we have a lot, and we're not gonna be able to answer all of them. I would
Yep.
really like to
Yep.
address that one at some point.
Yep.
But anyway, so the taxes are hard because we don't know fully what the plan looks like. I don't feel confident to speak on it because they're proposed
Yep.
taxes. People are like, "Oh, a dog walking tax." Again, guys, I'm in a pretty rural suburban area. I also lived though in Old Town Alexandria. And you have to recognize some of these taxes are targeted at these incredibly high income earners. And they're not targeted at the people who are the dog walkers,
Mhm.
right? At the working class. I'm talking these like very, very, very high income earners
Yeah.
who literally have a dog walker on staff.
Right.
And putting a tax on that allows us to keep the metro costs low for the low income earners,
Mhm.
because our metro, what we as Virginia are paying into the metro, because we have it, DC has it, and Maryland has it, right? We are not paying our fair share. And we know that. Youngkin didn't do it. So our cost is about to go up a lot. You're like, oh, well, like, okay, it's the metro. Like, that is a couple $100 a month budget line item for people who commute in.
Mm.
So when you raise that by 15%,
Yep.
that's the same as our electric bill raising us 15% for about 10% of Virginia's population.
Yep.
So it's easy to just put this thing up being like, oh, these insane taxes. But like, let's actually break it down and talk about it, because
Yeah.
it's one that's not going to affect you.
Yep.
Again, 400,000 a year, I don't consider that high income. You move
No.
into a different bracket. Again, recognize that it's also your adjusted gross, not your gross.
Yep.
So that's your gross after your credits, after your write-offs.
Yep.
And it is going for things that allow us to have paid sick leave that carries with you from job to job. So if you leave a job, you still retain your paid sick leave. That allows us to have subsidized childcare. That allows us to have pay if you need to take care of a sick family member. Let's say your mom gets diagnosed with cancer, because you'll hear like, well, I don't plan to having more kids. Like, I don't care about paid family leave. No, if your mom gets diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and you want to take 3 weeks off to help get her to these appointments to be there, that's not going to touch your PTO, and you're still going to be paid out all the way.
Yeah.
I'm okay paying 5% more on my income tax for that. Our foster care system, state funded, incredibly underfunded. So the
Mhm.
surplus we talk about, it's just because we're abandoning the
Right.
people who really need it.
Yeah. So I've got a few things, and I want to make sure we get that one that you wanted to do too. But just quick, someone was asking which branch of the military you were in.
Yeah. Yeah, FMLA laws. I've been fighting that. I just saw that comment. I've been fighting that like well before I was in politics. I was in the army and I was a tank commander, so I was an armor officer.
Okay. So I want to do this, and then I want to make sure we get a good amount of time on the one that you were talking about. What
It's
part
a
of your
short answer. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So go for it.
Well, then let's do that one. Do you see plans to make sure disabled people are protected?
Yeah, absolutely. So, for those of you that don't know, without going into too much detail, to protect his privacy, I do have a disabled son. He is my foster child, and our plan was moved to adoption. And I also work closely with our disabled veteran population. Um, and that's a big thing, right? We talk about disabled veterans and these benefits they get, and I wanna be clear, serving in the military is not the only way that you become disabled.
Hmm.
Like my son, you can be born that way, or you can go through a traumatic event at an early age like him, or you can get into a car crash, or you can be 21 years old and drugged and raped and have PTSD. Those are things that affect your earning potential.
Yeah.
Those are things that affect your life, and we're like, "Oh, okay, well, if you make above X amount, you don't qualify for disability pay." Like, well, no. You're still having your quality of life interrupted. You're still having your earning potential interrupted, and that threshold is so low. I mean, so low. My foster son, his dad, his biological dad, gets paid an amount monthly because he is fully disabled, and
Mm.
that's great. It's from personal choices he's made in his life and some that were made for him, and that's fine. Guess what? I really don't care that my tax dollars are making sure that he stays alive,
Yeah.
and that he's not dying on our street.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, even if it is from drug use. But that being said, that number is not livable.
Yep.
Let me be incredibly clear. It is not livable. And anything he does to earn work outside of that has to be under the table.
Yeah.
Has to be. So we talk about what the government can do stepping in and protecting disability. It's A, looking at the numbers of this, right? It's also looking at when people retire and at some point that's considered a disability, like you are too old to work anymore. And to me, that can fall in the same category because disability is not a bad word. Like so many people try and villainize and all this. Disability is not a bad word.
Hmm.
Um, and then requiring employers to now, am I gonna have government overreach and say, like, you have to hire X amount? If you're a big enough company, yeah, you do actually. But part of it is the same way I approach veteran care with this. You don't get a tax break as a company for hiring somebody who's disabled, for hiring a veteran, because you hire them in a minimum wage, low entry job and keep them for 6 months.
Yep.
That you do not get a tax break for. That is bullshit and that is exploitation. What you do get a tax break for is showing that you have a development plan, showing that you are going to invest into training them, that you're going to value their assets and their leadership.
Hmm.
And then at the 5 year mark, now you can have the tax break. Maybe a small one at 1 year for X amount, right? But it has to be so much more comprehensive than just slapping these labels
Right.
onto people. And then we talk about schools. I'm here in Hanover County, which was supposed to have a very, very great IEP program. Well, it recently got sued for people not following it. But then you can't just turn around and vilify teachers, though.
Yeah.
So part of my son's disability, he is deaf in one ear.
Mm.
And that can get neglected a lot because he does have full hearing in the other ear. But
Right.
when he goes into school and he's not school aged yet, his teacher will wear a microphone that connects right to his cochlear implant.
Mm.
Because otherwise, if he's not, sitting full up, any of that,
He turns to one
not
side.
he's not
Yeah.
gonna get it, right?
Yep.
So when the teacher's wearing the microphone, and that's something that will be in his IEP and it will be required. So if the teacher is not doing it, but also that teacher has 35 people in their class, if they forget to charge the microphone,
Yeah.
if they forget to turn on, like, that doesn't mean that person's bad. It means
Right.
that they don't have the resources
Right. Yeah.
to do this. So we need to fund special education
Yep.
because it's not just some separate school and off abandoned. It's not babysitting, right? And so often I think people think of special education as babysitting. And
Mm.
it's not. Like, these are very high functioning contributing members of society. It just looks different than it does for maybe you and me. And so there's just like so many factors because this vilification of the word disability. I mean, Trump making fun of the reporter should have been the fucking end of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I cried with a mother when anyone who puts their information on my website, I call them personally. I don't want to cry on this, but she hit her breaking point. She's here in my county. She's a special education teacher. She has a special needs child. They have been on the Medicaid wait list for 7 years, since he was 6 years old. And they just now have made it into the group where they might get picked for an audit this year. And then they might get him on Medicaid before he turns 18. That is
Wow.
their goal. And she told me, she's like, "But I can't complain because like, I can at least afford the treatment, and once he started having seizures, though, like, the medication just skyrocketed, but again, like, we can afford it." And she's like, I'm sorry." She's like, "I just wanna break at some point. Like, I
Yeah.
would love to be able to go on a date, but, like, we can't even afford a sitter who is qualified to care for him." In the richest country in the world.
Yeah.
Like, you're fucking kidding me,
Yeah.
right? Like, you're my one of my best friends is in New York, and he's adopted. His
And by the
brother is
way, you are more than welcome to say fucking kidding me. You don't need to
well,
blink it out. It's that is something worth it in this case.
um, my best friend growing up, and we met when we were 11. His brother is special needs, and his parents are much older, like mine are. They had their children, they adopted theirs later in life. He is not capable of living on his own, and they have tried, I mean, for 15 years. But every time they get the edits going, they get they get their application going. They're in the approval process, which takes years,
Yep.
and it's such limited funds to get approved for.
Yep.
It changes because new legislation comes in, new legislators come in, the governor changes, the president changes, and they have to start the process all over again.
Mm.
And he knows that there is such a strong chance that he will become his brother's caregiver, even though he has a young child at home.
Yeah.
Even though they're just starting out, he will become his brother's caregiver if something happens to his parents, and his parents still aren't quite old enough to take care. They're old enough now, like they have a hard time taking care of him all the way.
Yeah.
And there's just so many simple solutions that don't cost us any more in taxpayer funds,
Yeah.
just as keeping our money home. So that's something that just has to be prioritized. The systems are in place; they just needed to be funded, expanded, and prioritized.
Yeah. Um, one of the questions that I wanted to ask, because obviously you are a veteran, and there was an attempt by the current man in charge of the VA to change the
Mhm.
to make it so you could change levels of disability. I
Yes,
believe that was turned back because
it's
there
been paused.
it's been paused. Um,
So, yeah, I can get into this one. You get your VA rating, and occasionally it does get evaluated. Unless you're permanent and total, it does get evaluated, right? Your VA rating is it's considered a disability rating, yes, but it's not a you can't work, you're not capable of things, you can't go on a run. It's for so many reasons, and it's saying what happened to you when you chose to put your life on the line for the country has affected your life.
yep.
So it doesn't just mean that you did an overseas deployment. It means you were raped.
Yeah.
It means you watched somebody die in a training accident. It
Yeah.
means your Humvee rolled over in a training accident and you broke your hip at 21.
Yep.
Um, and it can be evaluated. That's kind of normal, right?
Yeah.
But what was proposed and what was put in, I'm not going to say proposed, what was approved
Right.
was if you take medication for whatever your rating is for, how you are on medication, even a daily medication, that's what your rating is based off of. So let's say you have severe PTSD and there's a medication that right now is helping and it makes you have a pretty normal
Hmm.
life, but you have to take this medication every day at 7 a.m. And we all know your body's going to adapt to it. We all know all this. Um, that your disability rating would be changed based off of how you react on medication. Um, we knew this was going to happen. This was in Project 2025. They've been
Yep.
trying to vilify veterans for a long time because a dead veteran is cheaper than an alive veteran.
Yeah.
We knew this, and I had some friends who are pretty Republican and who probably voted for Trump. They may have not voted at all, who benefit from VA disability in these.
Right.
And they're sending me these reels. And they're like, "Have you seen this?" I'm like, "Yeah, we knew this was going to happen. Like this is laid out." And I've had a few say, like, "You tried to warn me. I just really didn't think they'd come for veterans." But that's not a place you want to piss off.
Yeah.
You want a population to not piss off.
Yeah.
So it did pretty quickly. I mean, got sued so fast.
Yeah.
That the VA was like, we're not going to implement this right now.
It
They've gotten rid of it, but it took off so nationally, so many veterans. and the ACLU suing, to them, there's like, okay, this isn't worth it. They might try and quietly do it later or do it after midterms. Again, it's not completely off the table, but
Yeah. Is amazing to me. You were one of the first people that I interviewed, so I didn't realize it yet. The amount of veterans that are running for office in this country
Mhm.
is wild.
And
I'd s
young veterans,
young veterans.
young Democratic
Yep.
veterans. Mhm.
There's I'm actually interviewing a organization in Georgia. They're called Fighting 50, I think. They're
Okay.
based their whole job is to get veterans to run in districts in Georgia that have been like no one has run on the Democratic side. Like
Yeah.
that is their entire purpose. But all across the country, it's been amazing and it's all the same thing. It's like, I fought for my country and I saw this need and I didn't see anyone doing it, so I stood up and I had to do it. And it's been amazing.
That's such an overarching theme, is this idea. I mean, that's when I interviewed Governor Moore and when I interviewed every veteran running before I entered the race, was this is my duty.
Yeah.
And we take that seriously. I took an oath. That's not a bullshit political line.
Yeah.
And there's other reasons, right? As a mother of and all these. And when it comes to flipping a seat, though, veterans do have an advantage. Because the narrative that Trump likes to claim, that we love him and that active duty loves him and he's the best thing ever, because when you're on active duty, you can't speak back against that.
Right.
You don't get to say anything. So then you get out and all of a sudden you can use your voice.
Yeah.
We have people like Senator Kelly, hopefully President Kelly.
Mm,
We have these leaders who know what it means to go toe to toe.
yeah.
And that's what Trump and that whole administration is forgetting. We were willing to put our lives on the line for this country, and that did not end. We're not gonna watch it die. We're
Yeah.
not gonna sit back and watch democracy die and do nothing when we have the ability to, and we especially have the ability to in red districts, because we can get in the door
Yeah.
where other people can't. A 20-year-old attorney who's never worn the uniform and has been an establishment Democrat for 20 years, like, you've done good work and thank you. This is not your time that you're gonna be able to flip a seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
You aren't, because these people need to know that you love this country. That's why I'm here. I wouldn't be here if I don't love my country.
Yeah.
I would've just left. We could have left the country.
Yep. Um Where's the question? What part of your platform do you see having a major positive impact, not just in your district, but across Appalachia?
My minor's happily in Appalachian Studies. That is a really good one. So this one's gonna be a little niche, but it's one that I would really like to talk about, and it comes down to VA healthcare is the sample that I've been working on this project with, and this I'm still continuing to work on whether I'm in office or not, just to be clear. None of these ideals I'm abandoning just if I don't get elected.
Right.
But the platform with the VA. So in rural Appalachia, rural America, I mean, God, we could talk about so many when it comes to education. When I have a whole thing for this, but let's talk about the medical care,
Yep.
medical and administration. So my plan with the VA, which is my sample size of this to then be able to expand it broader, is a quote unquote mobile clinic. So the VA has shut down most of its administration offices, which I'm going to be honest was a decent move, reinvested those funds online, but that doesn't help people like my dad.
Yeah.
That doesn't help our rural communities where we don't have broadband or where they don't have internet. That
Yep.
doesn't help people who, you're like, okay, well, log in with your idme.gov and this. And it's like, for me, yeah, it's easy. It's an app on my phone. But um, when you have older populations, when you have populations that don't have access to that. And then you're like, well, you have VA medical care, but guess what? It's 2 hours away. That's not that helpful. Yeah, if you're going to go have a major surgery that would cost you a lot of money out of pocket, okay. Yeah, telehealth can help, especially with mental health care. But if you don't have internet access, not an option. So what we're going to do is outfit, it's about 12 that we've identified VA facilities.
Hmm.
They either hire a team or people who already work there who want to do this can apply and move over. And they have a bus, but it's not just a mobile clinic. What we're doing is actually renting out the library and a local privately owned doctor's office in the
Mm,
community in each county for one day a month. Hopefully, we have enough that we have to move it to 2 days a month. But by renting it out, that allows these VA funds, these federal funds, to make sure that these local doctors' offices that serve the local community, they have the funds to stay afloat. They
Yeah.
don't have to close their doors or sell it to big corporations. So there's economic benefit to it. And then it allows veterans to come without having a 2-hour drive. Maybe now it's a 30-minute drive.
Mm.
And we have, you know, 2 nurse practitioners or PAs, a medical doctor, a couple nurses, and we do flu shots and we do annual physicals, wart removals, these kind of smaller things,
Yeah.
right? No major surgeries, none like that, but no one wants to drive 2 hours and have a wait for their annual physical,
Yeah.
right? We're just denying benefits by access at that point. I also love to see the expansion of community care. Again, community care that was only good enough when there's still local resources. So I'd like to see that happen. And then it's again that admin side is, hey, let's get you set up, bring your DD 214, and you're talking to a person face to face who understands these benefits. If you're like, oh, I don't have the right paperwork, you're not driving 2 hours home, making a new appointment 6 months from now,
Right.
any of that. And then we can expand that though, right? Let's say, okay, it's been 2 years, the system's working really well. Let's expand it. We already have so many grassroots organizations that do things like this. We can go local children's hospitals and have the same thing,
Yeah.
that it's mobile because people don't have access to medical care.
Yep.
And then we can expand that with education. Part of my education plan in Appalachia and other rural areas, not just Appalachia, is universities. So this isn't live, so I can't, well, I mean, it's live, but it's not like yours right in front of me. Normally, I would say, like, raise your hand if you had the option of AP classes or concurrent enrollment in high school. Not if you took them, but you had the option, right? I got to graduate high school with 30 credit hours of college credit, and it cost my family $0.
Mm.
Not only did that help me economically, but that helped me be prepared because I knew what college level classes looked like before I got to college. In schools where this is not offered, we see a much higher fail out rate just because of the cultural shift that happens when you go to college. And these doesn't mean these people are not smart. These are
Mhm.
very smart kids. They just haven't had the same opportunities. So when we have broadband access, my idea is to partner with colleges, right? So let's look at Kentucky. I did my undergrad at the University of Kentucky. You then have online telelearning, concurrent enrollment classes offered
Yep.
that are free to high school students.
Yeah.
So if that student, because again, you can say you offer them, but if that course is $1,000, you can say, well, that's way less than college tuition. That's so far out of reach for most people.
Yeah.
You look at
Yes.
any kid in foster care, that's not a possibility.
Yep.
So we make them free. They're like, oh, well, like they'll take advantage. What? They're gonna take a free concurrent enrollment? Okay, sure. Um,
People are gonna that was always wild to me, this idea that people would take advantage by sitting in a class and not doing anything. Like what does taking advantage look like in education? I don't know. Um, I think I know the answer to this one, but I think it's important that it's set out. And they said something specific, but I want to broaden a little. Will you oppose legislation that targets, they said transgender, but marginalized people in general and restrict them from living their lives?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I
I,
hate that we have to answer that, but it's
I
something I'm not gonna shy away from.
yep,
Right? This idea of this is actually something like when I have these very conservative leaning ones, I know they throw it's like, well, what about transgender? I'm like, yeah, what aboutism? This is such a tiny, tiny percent of the population. And I don't mean that to say like, oh, it doesn't matter because it does very much matter.
yeah,
Because it's such a small percentage of the population, they do need protection. But why are you going against that, right? And it's the idea that you have to create hate and you have to create someone to blame.
yeah,
You have to get people mad at somebody or they're going to be mad at you. They're
yep,
going to be mad at Trump and they're going to be mad at Epstein. They're going to be mad at Musk and they're going to be mad at all these people in power that have all the money and the strings and they recognize that they're just being played
yep,
by the CEO of Walmart, by Donald Trump, by these incredibly rich people. So they have to blame it
yep,
on the transgender population. And it's the same thing when it comes to healthcare. And people are like, well, like, all these doctors are performing surgeries on transgender kids. And here's the thing, like, that's between the child, the parent, and the doctor.
yeah.
That is not up to a legislator. I am not a doctor.
Me
I'm
neither.
not. Those medical choices, who am I? Because again, when we say this is such a small percent of the population, that means every single story is incredibly unique. Every single medical case, just take out names, story, just the medical case of it alone is so unique. Who am I
Yeah.
to decide? That is between, and it's even if you are super opposed to transgender healthcare, right? Let let's just say religiously, same for abortion. You're just super opposed.
Yep.
Okay. That is your right to feel that way.
Yeah.
You do not get to be hateful. You don't get to be discriminatory in public places, but if you wanna be in your car spilling hate to yourself, if you wanna raise your kids to be hateful because you're running around your house saying that, I can't stop you. I
Yeah.
don't agree with you. That is your right. That is protected by the Constitution. That is your religious belief.
Yep.
Okay. You do not get to legislate it. You do not get to make that decision for anybody else. You'll
Yep.
say, "Well, it affects me, and, my kids are going to school with transgender kids," and it's dude, you've shared a bathroom with someone who's transgender. I'm letting you know right now. I'm
Yep.
letting you know right now you have.
Yep. Yeah.
You only care because Fox News is telling you to care
Yeah.
so that you won't be looking through the Epstein files.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I want to respect the fact that you only have about 10 minutes left. So, for everyone listening, uh, if you are not following Elizabeth, whether it's on the tube or on TikTok, she's also on Instagram. She's all over the place. Make sure you follow her. Um, I've put the link that you can go to everywhere too if you want to learn more about her. Um, Another thing that I want to say, and I say it to everyone, if you haven't watched the interview that I did with Elizabeth, please go watch it. So we talk about other things than what we talked about here, so you'll get to learn more about her. But also like and share her content, all these other people's content. What we're doing is I'm trying to interview all of these amazing people, just like Elizabeth, who are amazing people and want to really get change in this country. So please, they're grassroots candidates. They won't take PAC money. They want to be held accountable. They want to do it right. Because of that, they need, as Elizabeth talked about, visibility, name recognition. So please, please, please watch and share this content, whether it's to people that you know in the States or outside. Because again, the more people watch it, the more likely people in her district will be able to see stuff that she talks about. So please, please,
That's
please.
true, and also, this is one of the it's a top 4 on every report, and some reports have as number 1 if redistricting doesn't go through, and we don't know what's gonna happen there. This is the number 1 at-risk seat for Republicans right now in the House. So if you are in a deep blue seat, or you are in a deep, deep red seat, yeah, give them some love, support your grassroots candidate there, and all that. But right now, the priority has to be these top 10 most flippable seats,
Yeah.
especially your top 3 most flippable seats, and that's what this is. So you can volunteer if you don't live in my state. Awesome. Get on the phone. We'll train you how to phone bank. And I know it sounds concerning, like it's a script. Most people you are just leaving a voicemail to, and it's just getting name recognition out there, right?
Yep.
So you get a Google number, we tell you who to call, there's a script, it's a whole app on your computer. We make it really easy.
Yep.
Come phone bank with us. It's actually kind of fun. And an hour helps.
Yep.
Most people don't realize like in an hour we knock out like 500 calls when we have them. That's awesome. I'm also on live there too. So if someone does pick up and wants to ask about like policy, I can jump on the call.
There
No
you go.
problem. Um, so come phone bank. You can share like all that we were talking about. You can give $1. And people are probably like, well, it's $1. Okay, well, I mean, how many people have watched this in this time? If everyone contributed $1, that would get us a lot closer to our goal. And
Yep.
part of accountability is when, people are like, "Oh, you always say like we need money to win." Like, where is it going towards? I tell you guys everything. I mean, it's all publicly available, but it doesn't like break down exactly who got spent on what and any of that. I'm happy to share all of that. And this goal that we have, the 150,000 by March 15th, I know exactly how I'm going to spend that. I have quotes. I have interviewed who I'm going to be spending it with, what the plan is, and I share that with everybody. Yeah, postcard writing is super easy. Um, I share that with everybody.
Yeah.
That if you're contributing, you want to know where your money is. And some people are like, dude, I trust you. I don't care. Whatever. Like, here's $1. Awesome. But like, it really matters.
Yeah.
That $5 to grassroots candidates, like, it matters. Look at James Tallarico.
Hmm.
How much was raised? $6 million by small donors. So it's hard to say, like, hey, like, throw some money our way because we're going to make things affordable by changing this. Like, we really do have to only run grassroots to be able to change it.
Yep.
You have to get enough of us elected across the country who are
Yes.
committed to this to be able to change it and make
Yep.
things more affordable. Everything else is a band aid. But
Yep.
again, it's the accountability.
Yep.
You want to know where that money's going? I am 100% showing you
Yeah.
every time.
Yep. And I've said it time and time again. If you want change, you need to put people in office that want change. So if we say we want grassroots candidates to win, you need to get out and get them, whether it's through the primaries, if there's an incumbent, or, or just vote them, in the primaries in general, or vote and then vote them in the general election. This is how the change happens, with getting people in office that are willing to do what we have been saying we want to do.
And it's something that it speaks to how powerful we are as people.
Mhm.
Right? That's why we have Citizens United, because the corporations and the people who hold this power, they know. Yes, I will take that selfie. I just read that one. They know that when we all come together and we're not divided by district or by straight party lines or any of this, how powerful it is when we stand up and we say, no, we will not fall to fascism.
Yeah.
When we stand up and we say, no, Walmart will not own this country. When we stand up, we say, my vote is not for sale.
Yep.
And that scares the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And it should. But it takes all of us doing our part.
Yep.
Not everybody can run for office. And I wouldn't encourage everybody to do it because you will blow your fucking life up. And you have to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, but it's exhausting. You will blow your life up. Also, but we all have a part that we can play.
Yeah.
And it's hard because we are exhausted and we are pulled in so many directions. And I get that. But I saw the comment from Utah. I went to high school in Southern Utah, graduated from Cedar High. But they should be scared of how powerful we are, how powerful this movement, like we said, all these young Democratic veterans who know how to fight and how to win and how to lead people and combine them for the cause.
Yep.
And this is what we need. This is not left versus right.
Yeah.
This is not red versus blue. This is us coming together and saying we need systemic change.
Yep.
The system has been burnt down.
Yep.
Donald Trump has destroyed a lot of what we know and what we love. Okay, we will rebuild something better, but we have to come together and decide who is going to do that rebuilding.
Yep.
What our plans are, how we're going to change it. So whether you live in my district or not, if you do, primaries, whatever district you're in, primaries
Yep.
matter.
Yep.
Primaries matter so much.
Yep.
Go pick what candidate, not just the incumbent.
Yes.
Everyone should be primaried.
Yep. You want to have the best chance of not choosing the lesser of two evils. You do that in the primaries.
Yep. And Virginia has open primaries, which is great.
Yeah.
And you come sign up for a shift and you phone bank.
Yep.
For me, or for Dylan, or for Demi, and all these people across the country who are running.
Yep.
Make it a date with your best friends, right? 1 hour a week. You guys are all phone banking together on Google Meet. Are you set up a weekly $1 reoccurring donation that you won't even realize is coming out of your bank account, but it lets these candidates plan and invest.
Yeah.
And do what we know it takes to win a district so that we can set and we can have change. We all have a part to play in this, and they want us to be disenfranchised.
Yep.
They want us to not come together, to feel like our voices aren't enough, that $1 isn't enough, that 1 hour phone banking isn't enough. And could we do more? Sure. But don't let the fear of not doing enough or not being well enough stop you from doing anything at all.
Yep.
Because that's exactly what they want to happen.
Yeah.
And no one's coming to save us.
Yep.
We're going to save ourselves.
Yep. Again, you've got 3 minutes left before you absolutely have to go. So we're gonna respect your time. Elizabeth, thank you for coming on. I would love, hopefully we can have you back on again many, many times.
Yeah, I would love to.
Especially when we hear that you are the representative of the 1st District of Virginia.
Can I answer this real quick?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so if you win, what do you think it will take to beat Whitman? I'm going to win primaries because I'm the candidate who can beat Whitman. And we have data to back that up. We have polling to back that up. I am the candidate who will beat Whitman. And that is because I'm already going and knocking on red doors. I'm already calling red voters. I'm already talking to all of the Republican committees, not because I agree with them on policy, not because I think they're all going to come vote for me instead of Whitman, but because they deserve to be represented.
Hmm.
And I know what it means to lead under opposition.
Yeah.
I've been doing it my whole career. When I integrated women into combat arms, and it was me and 300 men in that infantry battalion, the majority of them did not want me there, yet I was in charge. It's easy to lead. I mean, it's not easy to lead, but it's a lot easier to lead and rally a group when they want to hear you talk,
Yeah.
when they have the same mission as you. It's a lot harder when they don't want you there.
Yeah.
But I did it and I earned their trust, and we came together for something that's bigger than ourselves. And that's exactly why I will beat Rob Whitman.
Yep.
That is exactly why we will build a better future. Because there are so many people who voted for him and are very unhappy with him, but they worry about voting for a Democrat too.
Yep.
And you know what? That 20-year career corporate Democrat who's pretty much Rob Whitman wearing blue, who's not accessible, who isn't going to listen to them or respect them. Because here's the thing, they're still my constituents.
Yeah.
I am still their representative. I'm not on the Hill as Elizabeth.
Right.
There's a reason they say the representative from Virginia has the floor.
Yep.
Because I'm there representing the people of the 1st District of Virginia.
Yeah.
Whether they voted for me or not, whether they donated to me or not. So I care what they care about. So I go and I knock on the red doors and I make the red phone calls. I'm honest, like, I'm running on the Democratic ticket, but I'm an American and I'm here because I love my country and my community, which is why I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
If that means you're going to stand here and yell at me, okay. Yell at me about what you're mad at. That is the job I signed up for. Let me hear it. And let's have a conversation. And
Amen.
that's exactly how I'm going to beat Rob Whitman.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see it.
Okay,
Again,
I'm going to jump off.
Yep.
We have some doctor's appointments this afternoon,
Okay.
but thank you all. If anyone needs anything, like I said, I do read the emails. I do read the comments. I read all of it, and
Okay.
we'll have an answer for you.
All right. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Hold on. Let me. All right. Guys, make sure you follow her if you haven't. Make sure you share her stuff. The video of this interview is going to be over on the tube. So if you didn't get to watch it all and you want to watch it all, please go watch it all. And share it with people. So watch it all and share it with people, please. Again, that's how we get the word out about these things. So yeah. For all of you interested, this coming Tuesday at 11 Eastern time, I will be interviewing someone who's running for office in Illinois. So 11 a.m. Eastern. I'll be doing the live before that, but at 11 a.m. they'll be coming on and we'll be doing an interview for that. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I really like her too. I really do like her a lot. Okay. We need 434 more people to like her, then maybe we could get something done. Are we going to stream the Dem State of the Union? So here's the thing. I saw someone talk about it, and I'm not sure I haven't decided what I think about it yet when it comes to the Dem State of the Union address. There were a few people that were talking like the Dem State of the Union address is kind of like when the TPUSA did an alternate halftime show. I'm just not going to I'm not just going to watch. I'm just not going to watch either. I haven't decided, but I sort of understand on that. She's got the Riz. She does. She's pretty amazing. I was super excited. Like, why have one? Yes. Thanks for rating us lots of food. I appreciate. I'm glad you guys liked it. She's got charisma. She knows her stuff. She's one of the people. That's why Virginia deserves truth. You like my Fire Lips portfolio? Thank you. Thank you. It is, she's running in the 7th district, I think. Annabelle Mendoza. I believe that's, yes, Annabelle Mendoza. That's who I'm interviewing. Thank you, Patty. That's who I'm interviewing on Tuesday. So, nope, no, you're good. You're good. But yeah, this was an awesome interview, and I'm looking forward to doing more of them. My goal actually is, as we get closer to different, like as we go on, having a bunch of different people that are running in the same state on, like I've interviewed a bunch of people who are running for state office in Iowa. You guys saw Layla, but there's a bunch more that I've interviewed, getting them all on and doing kind of a town hallish thing with a bunch of them, kind of a thing. So there's a lot of things that I'm trying to do to help give them visibility. So any help you guys have is much appreciated. And please go watch all the other videos that I'm posting. These are some amazing people that are running, and they need more visibility with a panel. Yep. Yeah. That's the idea. So there's a lot of cool things coming down the pipe. I just interviewed someone who's running I just interviewed someone who lives in Minneapolis and talked to her about what it's like there. So make sure to keep an eye out for that one. They aren't gone, just in case you were wondering. Maybe the Dow will be over 60,000 by then. Gosh. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things going on. Is it commercial time, or are we opening up to freeform Friday for the next 25 minutes? It's probably going to be commercial time. I got to get ready for a bunch of other things. And yeah. What I do want to figure out is how to get more people at these events. Like I appreciate all of you that were here. I want to get more people. Averaging about 50 people on TikTok and about, 15 people on the tube for these is something that we need to figure out how to change that number. But that's something I'll be working on another time. No, I didn't see a lot of our regulars here. 165 DNC versus 160K GOP tickets cast so far. That's crazy. I didn't see a lot of it. Did I do an event? I did not. Mostly because I'm not doing it the normal way, Shawnee. And if I did an event, it would have to be done via the phone completely. And I'm not doing these via the phone, so I can't do an event, unfortunately. Which is annoying, but thank you, Jodes. Yeah, it's frustrating. But what can you do? But that's just me wanting to get more people to watch for for learning purposes. And maybe that means I need to start trying to do them at night or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe we'll plan some night ones as we get closer to the elections or something like that. Yeah. But here's the thing, Rosa. I want people to care. Yeah, I saw that, Heidi. See you, Summer. I understand, Kat. I want to get more people on both. I just need to figure out how to get more people on both. It might not be possible just because of the way it is, but I just want to figure out if there's a way I can get more people to watch. I'm in this weird headspace where I care deeply, but I'm also nihilistic about it. I hear you. I hear you. That's a lot of people are dealing with that. Presents under their seats. Going all Oprah on them. It's something that we'll figure out. Hopefully, just as time goes on, this what I'm doing will grow, and through that, more people will be watching. So that's just something that I hope will come over time, you know? But guys, if you are over here on TikTok, please hit this button right here and do all those things. If you're over on the tube, thank you for all the thumbs up. If you're over on TikTok, please follow over on the tube. I'm trying to grow over there. I'm under 100 away from 2,000 subscribers. Under 100. We're trying to get to, that's the next goal we're going for is 2,000. So if you can help us get to 2,000, I would appreciate it. Yes, they are silver. Yep. I see them. Get your points. Get your points. You said it in your Scott voice. Yeah. Please help by watching and sharing the content. You with someone like Pearl Mania and Phil. I don't know who either of those people are. We reach out to a lot of people, though. Oh, Phil DeFranco. I've reached out to a lot of people, and I can only, yeah. I'm definitely willing to try reaching out to more people. But guys, I'm going to head out. Guys, I hope you have an amazing weekend. Go do something fun. Laugh, because remember, laughing and smiling and joy is a form of resistance just as much as everything else we're doing. I kind of like the hair. Thank you. It's called I got out of the shower and I dried it and didn't touch it after that. That's what this hair is. Yeah. Yeah. If you could message Rosa with any of those things, that would help me. I have like 4 or 5 interviews today that I've got to do. So, guys, thank you so much for being here and supporting Elizabeth and supporting me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. You guys are amazing just the way you are, and I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Do something that makes you happy. And if you're over here on TikTok and you want to watch the full thing, it will be on YouTube once it finishes its processing. Love you guys. Bye. Bye, YouTube. You guys rock.